So, my name is Tanisha Mungo, and I have a podcast called Through Our Lens. And I felt that it was only right for me to share my story. If I'm asking everyone else to come and share their stories, it's only right that it starts with me. I've been in law enforcement for almost 10 years. I've worked in a prison setting and I've worked at, in a jail setting. And I am the person who always encourages everybody. I try my best to see people through God's lens, but I'm still human. I'm still flawed. I still have shortcomings. But for the most part, I try to encourage everybody. So I've encountered people who have unalived people. And those people, I always encourage them to still live past whatever you've done. Because, the world will count you out, but it's no sin that you can ever commit that will out extend God's grace. So with that being said, you still have to forgive yourself and make peace with what you've done and still try to move forward. And with the population becoming so young, like I feel like I mother a lot of kids, a lot of children because can't count them out. Somebody gotta love them in spite of everything they've done. But like I said, I'm human, and nobody could. Sometimes just being human, you sometimes just think things won't happen, or you just don't expect certain things to happen. So, like I said, I've taken so many people to bond hearings. I've seen the victims' family speak out, and I've also talked to the people or person who allegedly has unalived some people. So I've dealt with like a lot, but nobody could have told me that I was gonna experience having a test of my own. Nobody could have told me that black on black violence was gonna really impact my family. It's like that don't happen in my family. Now that's not to say that everybody's perfect in my family, but you just like, well, I ain't got nobody really in the streets like that, or I for the most part people do stuff, but they ain't out here just doing the most. So I just didn't think that for number one, I would lose a family member to black on black violence. Number two, I would be the person having to speak at a bond hearing. So, with that being said, let me go ahead and share my story. This, and y'all have to forgive me if I get emotional because I'm being real, I'm being true, I'm being authentic. I lived it, I still live it. A lot of people right here in this small town currently live it. This is my uncle. This is Timothy Scott Barbie. And nobody could have told me, like I said, that I would be losing a loved one, especially my uncle. But guess what? Here we are. So it all started April the 6th, over in the morning. I'm in the bed with my twins. Normal night for me. Well, normal morning, around the time I'm about to get up and get ready and prepare for work. I think I'm dreaming. I see my mom right there, and she's like, he's gone. Now, I'm just waking up, like, I'm like, what? First of all, what are you doing here? Like, what you talking about? And she was like, they shot him. And I was like, shot who? What are you? What? This is how I was really woke up out of my sleep. And my aunt came and she said, why did you tell her like that? By this time, I'm kind of hysterical because I don't know, like, what you mean, shot who? What are you talking about? And my aunt said, baby, get up. I need you to get up. And I'm going to go get, she said she's going to go get my children up. And right now, where I'm currently sitting, which is my living room, right in front of my chase, she had me, she had my son, she had my daughter. And she said to me, they shot him. They killed Timmy. And she said they shot him like a dog. And I was just I can't even put in the words the emotions. It's like, did she just really say something really happened to, for real? My uncle? What? Like I couldn't process. I immediately I screamed. I fell, like my children crying, and I it's like, okay, this happened, but it didn't happen. So I was crying, and then I went from that to just, okay, I okay, I'm going to work, and my mom and everybody looking at me like, you gonna be able to go to work? I was like, yeah. I am like so many other black women. You wear that cape of the strong black woman. So you just feel like, okay, you get in routine. Like nothing phases you. Sometimes we condition ourselves to think that nothing phases us. So my uncle, I just found out my uncle, and I just was hysterical, and I just was upset, and I said, I'm going to work. Didn't want to really believe it. When I think about it, I think my mind just wasn't ready to really believe and set in the fact that I had really lost my uncle. So I go to work, and um news spread fast. So people was like, I'm sorry, that happened to your uncle. That's messed up. Of course, people who knew my uncle, a lot of them was like, nah, that couldn't have been from him, bruh, and all this. I heard all that, and I think I'm just at that point. I'm just busy mode. I'm not really processing anything. I'm just busy. I am just working. I don't want to feel. I don't even want to think. And I made it up until the end of the day, and a coworker, she was coming in to relieve me. And my cousin at the time, who was like my supervisor, had informed her of what had happened to my uncle. She was like, you here? You here? And she hugged me. And that's when I think it just really hit me for real. It was a combination of that. And right before she had hugged me, I was on Facebook. I was trying to decide whether I was going to post or not, because I'm a very guarded person. I'm very private. I'm just not that person that posts everything and put everything out there. It's no offense to people who do that, who live out loud. I'm just not that person. But when I seen like my cousins had posted all that stuff, I was like, God, I felt obligated to say something. I felt like I gotta say something. And that's when I made the post. So I came home, and it's kind of like everything is a blur from that point. I do recall at some point my twin's father, he drove down from his location. I found out that we was not even on good speaking terms then, but I found out that my son had reached out to him and told him what happened. And I remember him walking in the room, and I still had on my work clothes. Like it was late, and I was just laying on the bed. I couldn't do nothing. I was just so broken and hurt. Like I didn't even know what to do. I was just laying there with my work clothes on. And he came and he said, you good? And I was not good. I was not good. He watched the girls for me. He gave me my moment, and I remember I said, you know what? I gotta take a shower. I gotta take a shower. But it was like I didn't feel like doing nothing. I was just crying and crying and crying. And he was like, you're gonna make yourself sick. And I was like, nah, I'm good. I'm good. I put on my cape back on. I'm a superwoman cape. Okay, yeah. Okay, I cried. I'm good. I'm good. And I took my shower, and that probably was the longest shower I ever have taken in almost 40 years of my life. I sat there, I took my shower, but um I was just crying, and I was crying, and I was upset, and I was angry. I didn't know if I wanted to be angry who did this, or if I even wanted to be angry with God, because how it didn't make sense to me. Like, how my uncle, what he do? He always tried to help people. He always loved people, so it didn't make sense to me. But the days went by. It's it's getting time to close to coming up to my aunt's house. I did not want to go to my aunt's house, because first of all, that was my uncle stayed there, and that was a constant. My uncle always ran up to the car, and he'd be like, "You need help with the twins," or "I got Jay," or "I just seen Haley," or So I did not want to go to my aunt's house, to the point I actually passed her house, and my son said, "Mama, where are you going?" I didn't even know where I was going. I just know I did not want to stop at her house. I pulled over at the dollar store. I got out at the dollar store. I came back up and pulled into my aunt's driveway. My kids got out. My son got my twins, and I just could not hardly get out the car because it was hitting me so bad, because my uncle ain't running up to this car no more. He never gonna run up to his car no more. And I just was like, I can't get out this car. I can't. And Jay said, "Mom, they want to know when you gonna come in the house." I said, "I'm coming." When I got out that car, I could not even open my aunt door. My aunt came to the door, and she just held me, and I just said, "I cannot believe my uncle is gone. I cannot believe he never gonna run up to this car no more. I cannot believe this." It just wasn't making sense. Everybody was hugging me. They was trying to console me, but in my mind, it's just like nothing that hurt, no hugs, no nothing was bringing me relief from that. And there's the days when I was so in such a dark space, because I just didn't know how to process that. It's one thing when you lose somebody and you're expecting that. Because we all know we all have to go. But when you lose somebody and you ain't expecting that, and you ain't got no answers, that does not make sense. And I didn't have no answers, and it didn't make sense to me. And the days went by, and you would have never known how in a dark place I was, because like I said, like so many other black women, I wear that cape, and I wore that cape. I would go to work. I'm broken. I am hurt, but I'm still pouring into people. I'm still kind of laughing, but I'm coming home crying my eyes out. And the day came. It was time to bury my uncle. I couldn't go to I couldn't go see him. My mom was like, you need to go see him. I was like, I can only do it one time. I can only do it one time. I remember the night before the funeral, I was trying to figure out what to wear, because I am a person, I love fashion, and I was just like, Uncle Timmy, like, I want to be fly, man. But at the same time, I don't know what to wear, because this is going to be my last time seeing you. I went through that closet, and I kept trying on stuff, and I kept trying on stuff, and then I was just talking to God like, This is not right. Why am I having to put on something to bury my uncle and he ain't done nothing to nobody? Why? Make it make sense to me, God. Like, why? Why? I got my outfit. I said, you know what? I'm going to wear this and I'm going to keep this because it's going to be a constant reminder. This is the last thing I wore to see my uncle. You know, going to the funeral. Oh my God. I'm in my aunt's yard and I'm just like, why am I here? It felt like I was losing my mind. Because I know why I'm there, but I'm not understanding why I'm there. And I'm like asking God, why am I here? Why am I here? I see these people pulling up and I see my family getting in the car and it's like, I ain't getting in that car. Ain't no way. I'm like, what is really going on? Like, what? It was like I was really just out of tune with reality. Like my mind was just all over the place, all over the place. And then my children father came down again for the funeral or whatnot. And he met me there. And I get out the car and it hit me again like, oh my God. I'm really about to bury my uncle. Like my uncle is dead. I am here because my uncle is dead. How, how, and people was coming to hug me. And I just couldn't, I was just so in my head, like, I'm here. Is this for real? Am I gonna wake up? This a dream? Like my uncle, this ain't. But as I started to walk, I remember like something came over me when I hit that aisle and I seen that casket and I came to the realization my uncle is really in that casket. Oh my God. I cannot even put into words what I was feeling. I felt my knees kind of buckle like I know I'm supposed to walk, but it's the part of me that don't want to walk. Like I wish I could just stay here. I don't really want to walk and have to really, really see him in his casket. And I just remember like having so many loud outbursts. Like, oh my God, God, this hurts so bad. I love you, I trust you, God, but this hurts so bad. And I remember like I'm thinking it, but I'm so hurt and broken. I'm saying it too. Like it just hurt. It hurt. It hurt. I don't. And we get to the casket and I see him in that casket, Lord have mercy. I see him in the casket and I'm just like, I do not want to let my uncle go. I don't want to leave him in his casket. Like, how can I just take him? Can I hold him? I just didn't even know. I just wanted to hug him. I just wanted him to get up and be like, knees, what up, knees? Like, and he just laying there, he just stiff. And I just remember like, oh God, why is he in this casket? Why is my uncle in this casket? Like, I just want to pick him up. I just want him to go back to my aunt's house. I just want him to be able to run to the car. I just want him to be able to make me laugh. And he just stiff. And I remember like my children's father, he was pulling on me. He was like, we gotta, come on, Lepre, we gotta go. We gotta go. You gotta let him go. And I'm just like, I can't let him go. I can't. And I just remember them kind of pulling me away from him because I couldn't let him go. And I remember I just they set me down. And I remember I'm like, I'm supposed to speak. I have said I'm supposed to speak. Okay, Tanisha, you gotta speak because this gonna be your last time talking to your uncle. You gotta say something. And I spoke. I spoke. I can't remember everything I said, but I I was so hurt because sometimes, life be life for people. I hadn't really been talking to my uncle like that. I hadn't been seeing him like that. I'm working. I'm being a mother. I'm just trying to make sure stuff is together. And along the way, sometimes you'll be realizing that life ain't promised to nobody. I talked to my uncle like a month before he died, and we talked for a long time. And I just remember telling him, like, you need to, why you be hanging with these little young boys, Timmy? You need to hang with somebody your age. And I was asking about, like, his childhood friend, like, what Jerry at? Like, he was like, I ain't talked to him. I've had his number, my old phone, and I ain't reached out to him, and blah, blah, blah. And he was just asking me at that time where my mom was, but he started saying stuff typical to him and making me laugh. And I ain't need, I'm gonna holler at you. I'm gonna be at Temple House. You can come over there. You know, I never would have known that was going to be our last conversation. And I remember just beating myself up so bad because I was questioning, like, my uncle had helped me raise my kids. Like, I've been a single parent. He used to get them off the bus, help with homework. And he was so ecstatic about seeing my daughter graduate. He kept saying, I can't wait. You don't be hollering. You don't be doing this. You don't be doing that. And I just remember thinking, God, he helped me so much. And we get to the finish line, like a major milestone, and he won't be able to see it. I just, and then I'm watching my son. I don't know what's going on because he's not crying. He just quiet. He not crying. He just quiet. And I can't even really comfort him the way I would like to because I'm so broken. I don't even have no words. I don't know what to say. I don't know. I can't even pull myself up. And I'm supposed to be mama. And mama's supposed to be able to make everything better. But I can't even pull myself up to strap up my boots to be mama and make you feel better. Because I ain't even no good right now. And I was questioning, like, did he know how much he was loved? Did he know how much he was appreciated? Because like my uncle, like so many other black men, sometimes we take them for granted. We don't let them know. We don't love on them because sometimes you just feel like they're going to be there. They going to be there. He going to be there. Tim going to be there. He'll have another birthday. I see him. And I just was beating myself up because I see him and I'm having to talk to him and tell him how much I love and I appreciate him in a casket. In a casket. He probably ain't even hear me for real. But this is what I just got to do to make myself have some type of peace with what I didn't do when he was here. I've told my uncle I love him and I told him thank you, but have I really took the time to really tell him how much I appreciate him? Not really. I did. And now he in a casket and I'm trying to just pour my heart out to him. But it was really rough for me. I was depressed for like a year and a half. First of all, he transitioned April the 6th. My birthday is April the 20th. I had planned a family cruise, me and my kids. Like, it's a big age gap between my children. So usually I have my daughter and my son, I do something with them, do something separately with the girls. Because the girls, they were young, they crying, they doing this lot. So sometimes it was kind of taking the fun out of it for the older kids because I'm trying to deal with my younger kids too. But I planned a trip and my uncle's funeral was April the 16th. We go on this trip for my birthday, April the 20th. I cried the whole way there. I cried every day in the room. And then I kept thinking about like how he didn't even get a chance to live.
Like, done. Uncle Tim probably ain't never even been on a cruise. And now he'll never get to go on one. But why? Why? It, so I couldn't enjoy it. And it just was, I kept saying, I will never be able to really celebrate my birthday no more because I'm always going to be reminded when April the 6th come. That's when I lost an important part of me. So it's conflicting to celebrate me, but also having to acknowledge I lost the part of me because my uncle we was really, really close. Like, he was like a protective, very protective of me, my mom, his nephew. I don't know how many times my uncle used to be like, I'm going to the club. And I'm like, oh, you too old to be at the club. Why is you going with Tony on them? You too young. No, I got to look out for nephews. And he just like a lot of black men. Sometimes they forget about themselves trying to look out for everybody else. Everybody else. And that was my uncle. I cried for months. And for me, what was therapeutic for me was things that wasn't really healthy. Shopping. Because I love shopping. I would just shop. Like that was going to really just fix something. I just want to be happy again. And I wasn't happy. I would shop or I would eat. Shop, eat, shop, eat, shop, eat. And meanwhile, like nothing is just like feeling this void. I'm just going through the motions, just waking up routine. Everything's just routine. And it was very common for my kids. Like the world wouldn't know. Oh my God, I'm going through it. My kids knew it because they would come in there and be like, Ma, you thinking about Uncle Timmy? Ma, you thinking about Uncle Timmy? Ma, you thinking about Uncle Timmy? And I went on like that for like months. Then I started having nightmares. Oh my God. I wasn't getting any sleep because I kept having dreams that he was on the floor, bloody, and he was calling out for me saying, Nene, help me, help me. And I was running, and it seemed like every time I would get to him, he'd be gone. And I had that dream for months and months and months. The dream of me running to my uncle, shot up on the floor, bleeding everywhere. And he calling for me, and I can't even get to him. And this is the person who's going to have my back like no other. And the one time he needed me, I couldn't even get to him. I went through that for months. And it was just hard. It was hard. And so I kept saying, who would do this? I didn't doubt that they would be found. I didn't doubt that. Like, I come from a praying family. I'm like, God, I know you gonna disclose who did this. I know that. I just didn't know how I was going to make peace with it. Cause my aunt, it kind of was like when she told me and the kids on that same morning, after she told us, she said, God, I pray for whoever did this to my brother. Cause they know not what they do. And I remember when I heard her say that, I was broken, but I was kind of upset with her because I'm like, in my mind, like, I know she's sitting here praying for the person who just like did that to my uncle. There is no way she's praying for him. Oh my God. And but I'm so broken, I'm just all over the place. But for my aunt, and that just goes to show like how my grandma and my grandfather, they done such a great job with their children because when life be lifing, like they still knew who to go to. They still could forgive. And here I am, I'm kumbaya. I'm the person who always can tell people, yeah, I understand, but you gotta forgive. But in that moment when I lost my uncle, there was no forgiving. I was so angry. I was so angry. And I'm a person, like I said, I love everybody, I encourage everybody. But I'm human. And when I tell you that flesh had took over, it had took over. Like I was really, really angry. And May, May 15th, we buried my uncle April 16th. He transitioned April the 6th. May 15th, my aunt called me. She said, Nene, I got some good news. Like, I got some good news, girl. And I'm like, what is she talking about? I don't know what she thinks she gonna tell me that's gonna make me feel better right now. But okay. I said, what, Tiffany? What? She said, girl, they found out who killed Timmy. Yeah, they got him. They got him. And I screamed, oh my God. Like, I screamed, oh, I'm happy they got him. Oh my God, good. I was happy that they did find out who did it to my uncle. I was. But when I got off the phone, I just I don't know what I thought that was gonna do for me. Like, if they catch it, what it's gonna do for me. Cause I still felt nothing. I still was hurt. Like, okay, they got him, but my Uncle Timmy ain't. That's what reality set in. Like, Tanisha, yeah, they got the person, but your uncle ain't coming back. Like, he ain't coming back. So it was like a bittersweet. Like, I'm happy they got him, but God, my uncle ain't coming back. Like, so he ain't coming back. Like, and as like I said, like I was just in a dark place, and then in my work environment, I'm gonna tell you, God will put you through some tests, man. I was tested on so many levels because now I just lost my uncle. Now they found the person who did this to my uncle. Guess what? Now I gotta see who did this. I gotta see him for real. And people was doing their best to keep me guarded to protect my peace because they know I'm not gonna act out or do anything, you know, to hurt nobody because that's just not my character. But just to kind of give me some peace of mind, kind of where I work at, they trying to, we're not gonna let you see him and whatnot. And but God wanted me to see him. Cause I realize now God wanted me to see him because God wanted to test what my heart was. Where your heart at for real, girl? And I did see him. I seen him. He passed me in the hallway. This is my first time like really physically seeing the person. And he said, "How you doing?" And I just kind of I remember just kind of freezing, like, oh my God, this is another black man. I think like maybe I thought, oh, this person's a monster because they done did this and did this. And in my mind, when I see him, they're gonna have a look or something. But when I seen him, he just looked like another broken black man that's just trying to like navigate life. Like, it's just like God allowed me to feel that heaviness. I'm heavy with my own burdens and my own stuff I'm going through. And when I see this man, I see a human being, and God let me feel his heaviness, his brokenness. So now I'm angry all over again at God. I'm like, wait a minute now. Wait a minute. I'm already broken, and I see this person, and I feel bad for him. Nobody would have told me I was gonna feel bad for the person who did this. Like, I'm so busy being angry. I'm thinking I'm gonna be angry. But when I see the person, I feel bad for the person who allegedly unalived my uncle. I did. So now I feel just like a bunch of emotions because I'm on one end I'm hurting for myself and my family. On the other end, I'm hurting for him because I realize he's just a human. He human too. Allegedly, if he done this, he messed up. He messed up like that, like everybody else. But he's not a monster. And I think for me, in my mind, I was expecting to see a monster, but I just see another black man hurting. So, months go by, like I said, I can't even really say it got easier. I just got in a better space with processing it. it never is easy because I keep my uncle like on my refrigerator. Like I pass him every day. His obituary like in my room. Like I keep his obituary right by my bed. So it never got easier. Just I just got to a point where I was able to process and understand that he wasn't coming back. And so it came time for me, the family, to go to the bond hearing and whatnot. I'm sitting in this room, and those thoughts that hit me from the beginning when I first find out that my uncle has been murdered hit me all over again. I'm like, why am I sitting in this room? It's me, it's my mom, it's my aunt. And my aunt was like, we waiting on the investigators and stuff to come. And I'm just sitting there like, oh my God, this is for real. It's like I had moments where it was like, okay, this ain't real, this for real. This is not real, this for real. And it was just another, oh my God, this is for real moment. And my aunt, another woman who was wearing this cape, the Superwoman cape that, like I said, so many of us wear. She had wore that cape the whole time. So she was so busy trying to be strong for everybody else. Trying to be strong for her boys, trying to be strong for me, trying to be strong for my grandma, trying to be strong for my mama, trying to be strong for my uncle, that she didn't have her moment like that. I'm so sorry. But I told y'all I was just gonna be real for real. I wasn't gonna do no faking. Um, my aunt had her moment right there. Right there. She was just pleading with the investigators like, don't let him get out. Like, it's not fair. I have to see my brother in a urn at my house. I gotta walk past my brother in an urn. It's not fair. You know, she had her moment then. And we go out and we see the alleged person's family. And I look over there and I'm like, oh my God. Because me being a black woman, I know the responsibility that comes with that. I know that I don't have to agree with everybody, but I do love everybody. Because one thing about it, we are all black people and we all are experiencing the black person experience. That's just what it is. Regardless of where you come from, what you got going on, we all share one thing in common. We are living the black person experience over here. That's just what it is. So when I look over there, I see his family. I see a bunch of queens over there, as I refer to my sisters. And I'm like, God, this don't make no sense. This don't make no sense. Like, nobody wins. I remember just thinking this in my mind, like, nobody wins. Cause I see my queens over there who fighting and who there for him. And I see me and my family, we're there for my uncle who's no longer here. But in the process of it all, nobody wins. And I see, him speaking. I mean, his lawyer speaks for him, and his lawyer, talks about the things that he was accomplishing when he was out here and stuff like that, and his children. And my heart breaks again. I would never want another child not to experience not having their father present, you know. But it's just like it's not fair because you made a decision and you didn't think about the consequences, and so many other people gotta suffer as a result of that. So now I'm just in my head like, God, I hate that for his children. I hate that for his mother because, as a mother, I know for me, I take, like, my oath is my kids, they're not perfect. They're gonna do things, but it's nothing that my child or children can do that would make me not love them unconditionally. They got my love regardless of what. They don't have to always get my approval. I don't always have to agree with them at all, but I'm going to show up and I'm going to love them unconditionally. And it was kind of crazy because I'm looking like, I'm glad that somebody showed up for them. I don't know how that makes sense. I was glad that someone, because I feel like a lot of times, especially black people and especially black men, nobody shows up for them. And I could respect that, even though allegedly your child does something, you showing up for your child. You showing up for them. And I had to speak. And it was conflicting because I know you allegedly have done something wrong, so you have to give an account for it. But I hate the fact that you have to be taken away from your family. In order for my family to have some peace of mind. And again, it was one of those nobody wins moments. Because you got a mother fighting for her child. She don't want to lose her child to the system. And he got family too. And here we are, we fighting because we feel like we can't let you go like that. You can't get off with no repercussions when we got to suffer forever because my uncle's never coming back. So it was just very conflicting. It was just like, for me, only thing I could do when I would speak with God is to be like, why you put me through this? Why are you showing me all this stuff? And now it makes sense. I understand. With processing everything, I'm in a better position because I'm like, you took me through this test because it was so easy for me to talk to people who've been where I'm at now and tell them, yeah, you forgive and you do this and you do that, because I had to live it. I didn't have to live it. But once I had to live it and I had to go through it. And now that I'm currently going through it, and I can tell you that I went through it and I have made peace with a lot of things. And I have forgiven the person who did that. Now that's my testimony. See, I had to go through that test because on the other side of it was the testimony. I wouldn't have had a testimony if I didn't go through the test. I'm just speaking out, saying stuff that just sound good because I haven't lived it, But it's a difference when you live something. So now when I speak to people and I tell them, I know what you going through. I know what it's like. I know about the emotions. I know about grief. I know because I've lived it. And now I can tell you that even though I've lived it, I have come to terms with making peace with forgiveness. I can tell you that because I'm living it. It's not from no, I'm just telling you that because I think that's what you should do. I'm just telling you that because I just want to tell you that. Nah, I'm telling you, I lived that. This is my testimony. I have had my uncle taken away from me, the person who I love so much and who has been with me through so many milestones, taken away from me. And I'm able to say, at this point, I still go through the motions. I still have my days. I still sometimes be like, God, I don't know. It just still don't feel fair. But I can say that I have forgiven the person who has allegedly done it to my uncle. And like I said, for my aunt, it was an instant thing because she instantly began to pray for the person who done it to my uncle, even when she didn't know who it was. And for me, it took me time, but I can't say I'm there because, like I said, you have to realize nobody wins. Nobody wins. Me seeing a mother could potentially lose her child to the criminal justice system, she's not winning. Me not ever get my uncle back, I'm not winning. Nobody's winning. So that's why I'm so passionate about starting this podcast and speaking to the youth before they make decisions that could cost them their life, and making them consciously aware of how their decisions impact other people's lives as well too. Because we live in a town where everybody know everybody, or you know somebody family, But on the flip side of that, people are not, sometimes they're not thinking and they're making decisions that's impacting everybody, the whole community. And it's becoming like a cycle of hurt. You hurting, I'm hurting, this person going to jail, this person going to the grave. Meanwhile, everybody's hurting. So the podcast for me is just, it's so much bigger than me. I feel like it's part of my healing process, because if I could save one person from having to end up in the criminal justice system, or if I could save one person from ended up deceased, dead, unalive, then I feel like that will play a vital role in my healing process. Just being a change, just trying to advocate for change. A lot of times, especially the young generation, they just doing what they see on TV. They don't realize the impact that this really have. Got so many kids that sat there and they like, I wish I could do it over. I wish I could just go back, man. I wouldn't have been hanging with them boys. I wouldn't have been doing this. So the importance of teaching our children that in life there's no redo. You got to be mindful of what you're doing. And it's sad because a lot of these kids hurting too, because they losing their loved ones, their friends, and I have to watch them process it. I have to try to speak life into them. Mothers, talking to mothers who lost their children, it. Like I said, at this point, I just want to be an advocate for change. I don't want another family to go through what I'm going through, what my family going through. I don't want another family impacted by having to lose their child to the criminal justice system for something they've done. Because again, like I said, nobody wins. And I just wish that and pray that we all could come together with some resolutions so we won't lose anybody or keep losing people, especially our black men, to the criminal justice system and lose them to the grave. With that being said, I thank you for being patient with me and embarking on this journey with me as I do something that I don't do. Be transparent I'm always really transparent, but I'm not really a person, like I said, who live out loud. I don't express my emotions like that. I've been going through life like a lot of other people, black people especially, suppressing my emotions. So it's new to me. This is new to me. Like just being open and transparent and just telling you like the raw, the real, uncensored. This is what it is. And I thank everybody who has already volunteered to sit in this seat like me and be raw and real and authentic about their journey with losing a loved one. And I want to thank the community for everybody who just listen. Just listen. Bring your children. Let your children sit and see these people have to sit in this seat and talk about things they've been through. With that being said, just be mindful before you pull that trigger. Just think about it. Just think about, the people you're going to impact, including yourself. Because it's going to be some consequences. And sometimes it's easy to do the crime and without thinking about the consequences. But thank you so much for allowing me to share my story, allowing me to be real with you and transparent. And I look forward to you tuning in to more of my episodes. Peace and love, everybody.
Sometimes you gotta have hope, even when it seems hopeless. You keep your head up high, fly like an eagle.